we're live. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Kitchen Time. We are in a visiting kitchen this week because I am visiting somebody. So, welcome, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who watched last week's episode. This week is episode 3 of this fantastic time in my life that I get to share with you guys. So thank you so much to everybody who watches the show, and thank you so much to everybody who will watch the show at a later stage. I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very, very much for the support. And people have sent me messages and like support for last week because I was having a terrible one. So thank you guys so much to everybody who posted and who sent through all the love. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, into today's episode. Today's episode is dedicated to the one and only Patti LuPone, who I love with all my heart. She's amazing. And who inspired me so much last year. And that's what today's topic is about. It's about being at a place in your life where you have given up entirely. You remove yourself from everything that you love. You've had it. You're just done. And then finding, inspirational people or quotes or certain things that sort of help you get back to that. And why it's important to stick to it. Okay, so I work in the arts industry in South Africa, and a lot of the time it is hard. It is very difficult. It is not easy in this industry. It's also very it sucks. Can I just tell you that auditioning sucks? It is one of the worst feelings ever to walk out of a room and know that you didn't get the job. Like, you just know. I'm just gonna move my chair a little bit. Like, you just know that you were awful, that it was a horrible audition, that you suck at what you're doing, and you question it every single time you do it. Like, it doesn't get any easier. Anyone who's in the arts industry will tell you, they will share with you, it doesn't get easier. You sort of just build an auditioning muscle, which is also quite hard to build because as actors, we are very insecure people and very petrified, I think, of our capabilities sometimes. We don't always go all out in auditions. We hold back because, you're worried about this, you're worried about that, you're worried if you're good enough, you're stressing over a million other things in that moment when you should actually just be working. It's easier when you get into a rehearsal space, but auditions are awful. And eventually, your spirit starts to get a bit disheartened and you break down quite often. It's very important to have a support structure that we have a viewer. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't see who you are. I really wish this thing would show me, but it doesn't. But hello anyway. Thank you for tuning in. It's really important to have a support structure and people that you can count on to lift you up in those moments and say, it's okay, pick up and go to the next one. But that happens often. It happens a lot. And when you finally get a show, artists lie. They will tell you, I got the show. It was just, guys, it is monumental. The feeling that you get from finally landing a show after auditioning, for so many years. I think, I don't want to say pure theater because that's not a thing, but I've done stage work for the better part of 11 years. I started acting when I was in high school and doing shoots and all that. We started working quite early. But to be in musical theater is something completely different. It's something that is very hard to get into in this country. Also, my demographic doesn't allow for many parts. My build, I'm not that damsel-y in distress kind of human being. So I have a very particular kind of look, and it's been hard for me particularly. A lot of other people have a different experience, but for me personally, I auditioned for years to try and get into musical theater. Also, I'm not that good at it. It's not my first thing. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of extra work that I have to do on it. And it took a lot of time. So eventually I landed a part in a fantastic musical. This was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And also one of the most intense, which we'll get to. But I got a part in Kinky Boots in Cape Town. And we ran for so long. It was 10 months of my life. That was the most joyous ever, but also really, really challenging. And at the end of it, because you find out things in the industry, and look, I'm being really honest. Um, I I've always said that I will be really honest with people who watch Kitchen Time, because there's somebody out there who's going through the same thing. And if it's just one person that, doesn't go home and cry after a rehearsal or after a performance, my love goes out to you. That's what this is for. And I had many of those nights, like I would go home from rehearsal and I would just break down. I would just be finished. I couldn't speak. I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't video chat my family, which is really hard because you want to share with them what's going on in your life and you want to say, it's been such a great experience. It's going so well, but it wasn't. I was petrified every single day of, am I going to make a mistake? Am I on the right track? And actually, one of the musical directors called me out in front of everyone. They shattered me. They embarrassed me so badly and broke me a little bit. Like, we want to believe we're these strong people, but it doesn't always happen that way. And I was hurt. I was deeply hurt and deeply, but I had to move on from that. Obviously, go through rehearsal period, go through the show. And by the end of it, as brilliant as it was, and shout out to all my cast members, I love you guys with my soul. Like, I love you to bits and pieces, because I'm still in touch with a lot of them today. And we're comrades in the industry, guys in the band, people in the crew, fantastic. I have never in my life worked with such an incredible group of people. So thank you guys. You actually saved my spirit throughout the process of the show. And by the end of it, this is where it comes to, the chickens come home to roost, because at the end of it, I had to take stock of whether or not being in the arts industry was something that I still wanted to do. And it wasn't. Because of everything that I had seen, because of everything that I had learned about an industry that I, was so in love with for so many years, it didn't sit well with me. There was some things that just, it's a personal journey. Also, not everybody goes through this, but it was horrible. I hated the art form. I didn't want anything to do with it. I got a job overseas. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to do this to myself anymore. No more auditions. I'm tired. I'm like, my soul is shattered. I can't anymore. It's hard. And I quit. I left. I resigned myself from the arts completely. Got a job overseas and I was all set to go. And then COVID hit and brought me back to South Africa. So now I'm not in the arts industry and I'm not in my job overseas. And months went by and this is where the shift happened. Slowly but surely, my soul started to die. Not being in a rehearsal space, not being able to communicate with other actors, not being able to share ideas and bounce ideas off each other and have a kind of camaraderie that we do in a rehearsal space started to take its toll on my soul. Not whether or not I liked it. It became clear that this was something in my life that was my calling to do. I may not always enjoy it and it may not always be easy, but I need the arts in my life in whatever capacity it is, whether it's being, in pure theater on stage or whether it's being in musical theater. But, singing is my first thing. So that's the career I'm following. And it's also been a journey. We'll get to that in later episodes. But both are hard. And this is what I found out. Both things are hard. To do what you love is hard. It's very difficult. And to not do what you love is also very difficult. You have to decide. You have to pick your hard. And that's the biggest lesson for me that I've learned over the course of 2020 is that either way, it's going to be difficult. But I can choose to have a difficult life in trying to find something that I love as much as I love theater. It would be stupid to deny the fact that it's a part of who I am. And it's not who I am, it's what I do, but it is definitely ingrained in who I am. And I have to do it. It calls to my soul. It speaks to my spirit, and it's part of the reason why I wake up in the morning, is to perform, is to be in a rehearsal space, is to go through those processes with other actors and with other performers. It's ingrained in me. And Patti LuPone in 2020 was one of the women whose stories I knew of her obviously love the work, love the quality of performance, but never really knew her story. And I got into watching interviews and watching, past experiences of hers and reading up on her life and things like that, and finding out how difficult she had it. And she's a freaking legend, like a Broadway legend, been in film, been on TV, everything. And her story, when you hear it, is a difficult one. No person goes through life not having a difficult experience. But she persevered and she stuck through it. And it inspired me immensely to go, Catherine, stop being such a baby. Pick up your toolkit, pack whatever you need inside it. Excuse my French, get your shit together and move on. You have to persevere. You have to pick your hard. And once I chose it, that's the decision I have made with my life. It's going to be difficult. And I'd like to encourage, that's the part of the encouragement that I'd like to give this week. It's going to be tough no matter what you choose. Whether you choose to do something that you're passionate about, or whether you choose to do something for the sake of money, or for the sake of like what your parents say you have to do, or you want to go and explore a certain sector of the world. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the arts. It can be anywhere. You could be in finance. You could be the CEO of a corporation and you're thinking about quitting because now you've climbed this corporate ladder, but where do you go from there? It could be starting a new business. If you are on the verge of starting your business and you've got this incredible panic to go, oh my word, is this the right thing to do? You don't know. You never know if it's the right thing to do. All you can do is look inside. If it sets your soul on fire, by all means pursue it. But don't not pursue it out of the fear of it being difficult or the fact that you're not going to make it. Everything is hard. Everything is difficult to do. You've got to decide what you want most and go for it. So what if you fail? At the end of the day, it's a lesson. You pick that failure up, you turn it into a quick little lesson and you move on with it. But your give up rate cannot be higher than your perseverance rate. Please push through. Find somewhere in your soul, we say the thing at your core that like drives you, your gumption, your gusto, whatever it is that you have to dig deep inside to find. Make a point of taking some time out to dig deep and find that thing, because it's either way, it's going to be difficult. So do you want to be you're going to have a difficult life and be happy about it, or you're going to have a difficult life and be miserable? And that's what I think giving up the arts would have done for me. So I've gone back to it now, put on my big girl panties and said, like, it is tough. Auditioning is tough. Going into a room full of people, and again, corporate is the same. Going into an interview room, because I've been on that side of the field. I don't know. I've been on that side as well. Going into an interview room is daunting. It's like, am I good enough for this job? Yeah, sure. And if you're not, you're going to learn along the way. Do I match what this company is looking for? Like what it's scary. It's daunting. It's very, very traumatic in any sector, in any industry to put yourself out there. But I would like to encourage you this week to pick the hard or the difficult that makes you get up in the morning. Don't sacrifice what is a part of your soul for the sake of, fear of not going to make it or fear of it being too difficult. So yeah, that's been my experience with my sector. I hope that it does pick up, because COVID is like shut down all theaters. Guys, the ghost lights in the theaters are making us very sad. Artists all over the world are very, very sad. And a special shout out to all my artistic people in the world. Guys, I know it's hard. I'm sending you massive, massive hugs and massive love, because we are suffering creatively. It sucks. It's a period in our lives where there is no work because we can't work. Not because there's plays, there's ideas, there are creatives sitting with 1,001 ideas waiting to be put on the stage, waiting to be shot. Like the films, the music videos, they're waiting. They are waiting to be done. But COVID is this time that sort of shut all of that down. So in your heart, I know it's tough and I know it's difficult. So I am sending huge amounts of love and huge amounts of care and just kindness. Because if you need anything, like I say, kind words, hey dudes, I can't help financially. I wish I could. But like if you need support, if you need somebody to reach out to, send me a direct message on Facebook or comment down below. Okay. What's up, Des? Thank you for sending heart emojis. Heart emojis back. I can't do that on this thing, I don't think. So there's my heart emoji. Heart emoji. Yeah, guys, massive love. And please stick at it. Find yourself some encouragement. If you need, hope this is encouraging. But if you need extra encouragement, there's things on YouTube, there are videos, there are posts by people who have gone through the most in their lives, in their journeys, whatever sector they're in, and they have pushed through and persevered. And the one thing I've noticed is the consistency aspect. Like it gets tough, but the ones who stick at it and every day just do a little bit more and a little bit more, those are the ones in the end that find that they come out on the other end scathed but happier. Like nobody gets through unscathed, but you know, we're scathed but happier. What's up, Walid? I'm going to wave. But unfortunately, guys, we're at the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing with me. I've gotten posts in the week with people sharing their journeys with me as well. That's great. Still looking for guests. My sister was supposed to be a guest tonight, but she is working upstairs. So that didn't happen. Maybe she'll be on next week. Yay. I'm holding thumbs. Can you hold both of your thumbs at the same time? I don't know. Yeah, I'm holding thumbs for next week. Okay, but we're still looking for guests on Kitchen Time. Also, guys, if you'd like to be a guest, please pop a comment down below or send me a DM or PM, you know, I don't know terminology, but yeah. From my heart to yours, guys, have a fantastic week. I love you so much, and sending you massive hugs and lots of love. Ciao.